Hello and welcome, everyone. We're so pleased that you've tuned in for Hawthorn University's All About Alumni. I'm Paula Bartholomew, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing Caroline Aslanian, and it'll be your opportunity to ask her questions directly too. All you have to do is type any questions or comments into the webinar panel, and I'll present them during the Q&A after the presentation. So hello, Caroline. I'm really excited to be here together.
Hi there. I am too.
It's my pleasure to introduce you in your presentation, Bringing Balance into the World, One Woman at a Time. It's a powerful statement. So let me give some background about you so everybody's on the same page with us too. Caroline's a speaker, she's a writer, and she's the author of 50 Shades of Grey, The Truth About Eating Bread and Feeling Great. It's an international bestseller, and she's a holistic nutrition educator and lifestyle coach, as well as an experiential traveler who studied different cultures, religions, and diets with a mission to teach and inspire others through healthy habits and practices that our ancestors used, all without eating deprivation, calorie counting, or yo-yo dieting. She entered Hawthorn with enthusiasm to learn more deeply and challenge herself, and she completed the Scientific Foundations of Holistic Nutrition program and plans to return to complete her Master's of Science in Holistic Nutrition degree. She holds a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration and majoring in accounting. So I'm going to stop at this point, so Carolyn, so that you can reveal the rest of your accomplishments, okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Paula and Hawthorn University, to have me on a panel presenting. I think it is really important and helpful to learn from one another. This is how we can progress forward more productively.
I agree so much. So why don't we start right off with you starting to share the beginning of your story.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had the desire to help people and beings. I've been an advocate for healthy living and an avid researcher about nutrition since my teens. I have been conscious about how food and nutrition plays an important role in people's health. And I've been backing my intuition with years of research and experiential traveling around the world, studying different cultures and ancient wisdom. I work in collaboration with Professor Michelle Poulin, the top researcher of the Blue Zones, places around the world where centenarians, who, as you may know, are people that live over 100 years of age and exist with abundant vitality. By observing women around the world who demonstrate longevity, I'm able to bring ancient wisdom into the modern world context.
It's a powerful mission, Caroline, absolutely. So what, your primary, as I understand it, in your business, you're working with women to help balance their hormones. So what prompted you to get involved at that level and with this specific niche?
Yeah, thank you. What is interesting is in the process of helping others, like so many other busy women, I stopped taking care of myself. It wasn't until I almost died a few years ago when I realized things were out of balance, and it was up to me to bring it back to balance. It was summer of 2016, between taking care of my family, my aging parents, growing business, and burning the midnight oil. I'd lost myself in a not so healthy routine I created to please everyone first and me last. Against my better knowing, I opted for a quick fix route because I didn't want to adjust my lifestyle. I thought I could use a simple hormone cream and continue being a machine. That bioidentical hormone that was considered to be safe and in diluted amount and prescribed by functional gynecologists almost killed me. I had no other choice. I went into hyper research mode. The solutions I discovered were simply shocking. I didn't want to chase the information or my health by going to one specialist to another. One, I didn't have the budget. Two, I had even less time. Rather than chasing after my health, seeking advice from experts, I applied my own advice and help from existing connections and practitioners. All along, me being in control of my own health. The answers and solutions were within me all along. It took me a while to figure out the following. Lab tests can be a useful tool. The breast practitioners and tools are only a tool, an aid in helping solve the problem. It is not the solution to the problem. They are, at best, a snapshot. And as unique as each woman is, so is our hormones. Our hormone levels are consistently changing at different age, cycle to cycle, month to month, week to week, and even day to day. In fact, your hormone levels now are going to be totally different than a few hours from now. So unless you're willing to test your hormones and thyroid levels frequently to establish a pattern under the care of a practitioner, how could you possibly rely on a snapshot to see a big picture? On top of that, there are different kinds of tests to check hormones. There's blood, urine, saliva, each with different benefits and drawbacks. After consulting with different practitioners, from conventional to functional to biochemists, and getting different convincing answers to why they thought each type of test was best, fed up, I asked my brother, who is a biochemist, what is the best way to test a woman's hormones, for God's sakes? His answer was not only shockingly revealing, but confirming to why we all need to go back to the basics of knowing ourselves. Dr. Robert Gelagolian revealed what finally made sense, even though it was not practical and fun. Best way to do hormone testing that will reveal a bigger picture, I'm laughing because it's hilarious, for that moment in time is doing a biopsy of each organ that produces or responsible for eliminating hormones. Also, it takes much effort and time to research for a functional practitioner who is in alignment with what gives us ultimate health, which is teaching a woman to regain her health to becoming her own healer. Otherwise, it's a perpetual cycle of deciding what kind of protocols, medications to take based on a snapshot. I knew all three bodies, the physical, mental, and energetic bodies, had to be addressed and cared for. By reclaiming my own power, I brought balance and vitality back by applying wisdom that was natural, effective, and practical. I feel free now from the annoying imbalanced hormonal symptoms. I feel younger than ever before. I have more time and energy, sanity, and vitality. In fact, in the United States alone, 53 million women are of menopausal age, sometime between some going to premenopause between 35 up to 64. According to 2015 JAMA report, up to 80% of these women will experience symptoms during their transition. That's only reported. Actual number is probably over 95%. Out of those women who suffer, many of them don't realize they don't have to. Few women have the courage to take matters into their own hands and realize that they have the power within to heal. Then even fewer get lucky and find practitioners who truly understand the woman's unique biochemical individuality and know which lab tests to run, and that lab tests are not end-all be-all. Rather than reclaiming their balance, most women suffer in silence. The price of conventional treatment, procedures, prescription drugs, antidepressants, and sleeping pills, with their long-term safety and effectiveness, side effects can be significant. But far worse is the human cost of mental anguish for the symptoms of this condition. Using the wrong practitioner, incorrect subpar panel type of tests and labs may not only waste your money, but give inaccurate reading of your lab results that may result in inaccurate prescription, in which in turn may make matters worse. Even with the best test analysis, it is shoot and miss. Our best bet is your diet and lifestyle. It has a strong influence on hormone levels, which is why, according to functional doctors, it is one of the first and best areas to apply change. Although change is never easy, one can't put a price on health. Having the right guide makes all the difference in the world between attempting and succeeding.
Wow. What really stands out for me in that, Caroline, is that you said that in the process of helping other women, you stopped taking care of yourself. And so often I hear that somebody gets sick themselves and finds their way out through more natural functional approach methods, and then realize they've got a gift to be able to start offering to others. And yours really came about kind of backwards, and that seemed like you were taking care of yourself, and then you got so invested in helping others that you let yourself go. That's and brought yourself back.
Exactly.
So bringing yourself back, I wonder if any of that had to do with going to school at Hawthorn. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that part of your journey?
Yeah, totally. Although I have the kind of knowledge that cannot be gained from reading, it's just I've been doing this since I was a teenager, just even though it was not at this level. I wanted a deeper learning. I wanted to get my credentials from a place that was not judgmental. It didn't have diet dogma, that honored each person's biochemical individuality, and that wasn't tied to big ag or a big pharma. I looked into becoming a dietitian because of the weight it carries. However, I would be arguing with a professor and content all the time. And what would I be learning? The sad diet that is failing all of us miserably? I'd be wasting my time. So that was out of the question. Since there was no brick and mortar place that offered what I wanted, that was practical, I searched for a distance learning program that would allow me to study at my own pace, a holistic program that was comprehensive and well-rounded and not judgmental. Program had to be affordable and one that would give me access to professors and mentors. And so I found Hawthorn.
Well, we're glad you did. You're glad you did, and you sure have done well while you've been here and completed that program. And what are your future educational plans? Do you have thoughts of continuing education in any way?
Yeah, totally. I plan on completing my master's in holistic nutrition and possibly pursuing a doctorate degree. I had to take a hiatus because besides taking care of 3 kids and a new business, I found myself taking care of my parents and my dying father-in-law. And now I'm in a process of going through the biggest transition of my life. Once that chapter is closed, I can get back on track.
It's a big chapter. Yeah, understandable. Well, you've got a business, Barefoot Angel, and I'm curious to hear more about that, as when it was born and what it's about and what you've been doing with it.
Yeah, so I've been helping people for years and years before Barefoot Angel came to life in 2014. My kids were the ones who encouraged me to offer my gift to wider community than my local community by starting a business that offered online programs. So that's how it started.
Right.
And as far as my goals,
Yeah.
you asked me what my goals are.
Yeah.
And how I plan on accomplishing this goal. I often hear from women who are incredibly busy and overwhelmed that it is impossible to balance their health in this modern world in a way that is affordable, simple, and practical. I help busy women find their hormonal balance so they can start feeling happy, thinking clearly, managing weight effortlessly, having a healthy, sexy libido, feeling vibrant, having strong bones and joints, attaining shiny, healthy hair and skin, all while feeling and looking their best. This is accomplished through my unique, tested, and proven process. The entire program is customized, meeting each woman's unique needs and lifestyle goals so she may become her best self. You know, because through my own struggling and finding my own balance, I found my new purpose. As can be seen and felt, this world is out of balance. There's this overwhelming amount of darkness. We see that in many forms, especially in the way people feel and act. What will bring balance into the world is not the battle of the egos. It is not more darkness. The only way to get rid of darkness is shining the light on it. I believe that the reason this world is out of balance is because the beautiful feminine energy has been suppressed and dormant for thousands of years. It takes the collective and group conscious effort to make a shift. How could we make that shift in this world if we individually are out of balance? I play my part in bringing balance into this world by helping one woman at a time find their balance and therefore shine their bright light into this world, one woman at a time.
It's a big mission, Caroline, absolutely. And I imagine on the along the way already that you've learned some lessons in growing your business, and I think it would help all of us for you to share some of that now.
Oh yeah, totally. It's helping others. It's one thing. It's got its own challenges, and doing it as a form of business, starting a business, whole different challenge.
Yeah.
Because it comes with different sets of skills that you may not have, that you have to acquire. It's not like you just go with your gifts. Mm-hmm. So besides costs of setting up the business, like setting up domain names, brand, label, legal advice, blah, 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 I've spent thousands of dollars, 50,000 at least, on top-notch coaching and programs over the past 4 years. I have learned painfully what to do, what not to do. Since everyone listening is unique, their story is unique, their approach may be unique, instead of sharing my specifics, I think it would be far more valuable to talk about the lessons in business that I had profound impact, or that had a profound impact and will be beneficial to everyone applied rather than looked at as a concept. I'm going to talk about the natural order of things in business, because it is important to start from the beginning, because if you start from other than the beginning, you can get overwhelmed and end up going nowhere. It is important to also know, accept, and love thyself. Although these seem very basic knowledge, I know it is not easy to recognize it because we want so badly to get to our goals fast. These basics may seem like they're getting in our way, right? Interestingly, without implementing and applying them, you may seem like you're moving fast, but maybe going to the wrong direction. I know all this because I've avoided these steps for many years, knowing their importance.
Yeah, knowing them and still spinning in circles, trying to find the way through, right?
Right, exactly.
So, all right, you learned some lessons. Let's start with the first one. What have you learned?
It's really, really simple. It's knowing who you are, embracing it, honoring it, harnessing its superpowers. For years, I was told by many well-intentioned people around me that I'm too sensitive and way out in the atmosphere. For years, I tried being disciplined, like those who are grounded all the time, and not allow myself to go in the atmosphere. I was told I have lofty and unbelievable dreams and plans. Apparently, people around me needed to see it first to believe it. I was told I care too much and that I give too much. Fortunately, I never tried to stop caring. I wisely stopped showing my family and friends and whoever didn't understand me the way I cared, because I frankly didn't care to hear their opinion on how that is not going to serve me in my business.
Yeah, we want some positive support, right?
Absolutely. It's so important.
And, it's a beautiful thing when you can begin to identify your strengths and lead from there. So along this way, you've been learning a number of mindset tools that you've talked to me about before we went live. And so I'm wondering how these tools have helped you really harness your own natural inclinations and, as you call it, superpowers.
Yes, these are important. Like, again, I want to share this because it's so important. Did I say it was important?
Yes, you did. Just a little bit.
Super important. Okay, so 2 different opportunities and coaches showed me who I was, and more importantly, appreciating how I think, function, and perform naturally versus feeling like I'm going uphill without a paddle. First one was in 2016 when I heard Dan Sullivan. He's a coach and mentor to many of the most successful health and wellness marketing entrepreneurs. He was presented to us at JJ Virgin's Mindshare event. Mindshare Summit is where a group of A-list health and wellness entrepreneurs gather once a year to learn, elevate, and collaborate. If listeners are interested, by the way, to know more about the coaches and programs I mentioned in this webinar, most of whom are by invitation only, they can contact me. I will give my contact information at the end.
Okay, great.
Prior to the summit, we were instructed to take what is called a Kolbe Index. So when I took my score, I was embarrassed. I got low scores in follow-through and implementation, as you can see. I retook it, trying to cheat, hoping that I would pass.
You tried to cheat on your scores. That's funny. Sorry.
Somehow, I got the same freaking scores. At the summit, our name badge, on top of that, this was the worst part. At the summit, our name badges had our scores at the bottom of it. So I'm trying to hide my score the whole time. Being curious and inquisitive, I noticed one by one that all the attendees that I met had similar scores, high in fact-finding and action-taking, and low, and I say in quotes, low follow-through and implementation. Dan's team explained that, I think he said one out of, I think about 300 attendees that were there had similar scoring. That was our mode of operation. We were able to be and do what we do because of our mode of operation. So understanding and trusting this powerful force will give you the freedom to be yourself. Being like the score that I had, 6.473 in Kolbe, has nothing to do with whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, a math whiz. Kolbe Index results deal with different parts of the mind than your personality or intelligence. You will get more done in less time when you leverage your MO, modem of operation. It helped me better understand my nature, how I naturally think, function, and perform.
Were there other ways that it helped you?
Yeah, I learned, very much so. I learned that there's no such thing as low or bad score. My modes of operations and my personal creative abilities were celebrated instead of scorned. Finally, I finally knew exactly the kind of work, interactions I'm naturally good at, and which ones are better left to others. I also knew that about my team. What if you could better predict the kinds of people you work best with, or which kinds of people are best for a given job? I do best by imagining what could happen, and I get help getting it done. I don't have to see it to believe it. I may create clutter, which is fine for me, not letting efficiency experts trying to change me. Orderliness is among the least of my priorities, but I communicate an appreciation of it in others. In fact, I look orderliness in others who are on my team. I work very well against deadlines. In fact, I need them to keep me on track. My team may believe I expect the impossible. They just don't believe because they don't see it yet. So I use my power of persuasion to paint the picture for them. And most importantly, it is important that the environment I work in nurtures my strengths and allows me to be free to be myself.
All right. Well, let's stay with this. This is a powerful learning throughout this. And so I think that we all have a tendency to look at our scores and think the worst about ourselves, but that you can walk away with all these lessons learned is really powerful. So why don't you continue in this vein a little bit and talk more about the mindset tools that helped you really harness more deeply your powers.
Yeah, my second opportunity that showed me more clearly who I am and therefore appreciate how I think, function, and perform naturally happened actually last year through the help of my coach, Ed Rush. This helped me not only discover my true self finally, but deeply understand my mode of operation, my mission, my purpose, the way I learn things, and what I choose to learn and implement, the way I go about doing things, my sensitivity, and the speed at which I implement things, putting my ADD tendencies into hyper gear. For the longest time, I didn't understand why I was drawn to Ed Rush. He's a former F-18 fighter jet pilot. I don't know why the F-18 presented on the screen every time I heard him speak would resonate with me. Then one day, it came to be as a vision in my dreams, as clear as this vision.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see from this image, a jet plane is different from a propeller plane in so many ways. They're designed differently, they have different missions, and the pilots go through a different kind of training. So propeller plane is slower, has slower speed of travel, whereas a jet plane has much faster speed of travel. It can break the sound barrier. Propeller plane flies short distances, whereas jet planes can fly long distance. Propeller is less maneuverable and less precise. Jet plane is highly maneuverable and very precise. Propeller plane has leeway with timing. It's got lots of time to make adjustments. Jet plane requires perfect timing. Propeller plane is less sensitive and slow to response, whereas jet plane is super sensitive and quick to response. Propeller plane is designed to fly at lower altitudes. Jet plane is designed to withstand and fly high altitudes. Propeller planes, pilots are trained in the basics. Jet plane is designed to be flown by highly trained pilots. Propeller plane carries passengers. Jets usually carry missions. Propeller plane is simple and has less complicated tracking, and jet plane has sophisticated, finely tuned tracking. The important thing about all this is not one is better than the other. It's appreciating and respecting the differences between us or the different designs and differences in everybody, and living up to your design. That is the most important thing. I finally recognized myself for what I was designed to do. I finally understood the intensity of my mission and the kinds of trainings I was seeking. I finally understood and appreciated my sensitivity. This kind of knowledge allowed me to be free myself, from the good opinions of others about myself.
Yay.
Yeah.
To be liberated from that is a powerful thing. So
Yes.
it's the analogy is really interesting, between the two planes and what you take it right down into our personal thoughts and actions. So let's stay with this a little bit about you're recognizing some tendencies about yourself, but is there something that you saw consistently that we all kind of do sometimes?
Yes, some of us more than others. Yes. Yeah, the one natural tendency that most entrepreneurs have, I'm not saying all, that if not recognized and valued can be the biggest pitfall in business, is that what I call ADD tendency, being distracted by shiny objects, being a squirrel. Because of my mode of operation, I accept this temperament about myself. I honor it. I cherish it. I use it to my benefit. As Michael Thompson, a famous psychologist who wrote Raising Cain, said, 80% of the world stimulant medications is prescribed to American boys. There's something profoundly wrong with the situation. It cannot be possible that all these children need medication. The actual real cases are rare. Our modern society doesn't appreciate this about us, individuality. It promotes conformity. I believe it was Dr. Thompson who said that if a study were done on prisoners and very successful entrepreneurs, you'd find most of them having ADD tendencies. It isn't what we have that determines the outcome. It is what we do with it and how we harness it that makes a difference, right?
Right. I think so. It's true for me, absolutely. So let's talk some more about business lessons. I imagine there's been a few that you've had to embrace over time that have contributed to some professional growth. So I'll let you riff on that a little bit.
Yeah, very much so. There's been a lot of crucial business lessons, and you would think, I mean, besides the technical glitches and learning technical stuff that you didn't know, that's a whole different hurdle. But the biggest one, I think, is the mindset.
Mhm.
That is a crucial piece of the puzzle. Without taming this, you may be spinning your wheel and focusing on things that don't bring results or feed your soul.
Mhm.
To do the kind of work that we do and create a business that has a profound impact and brings you great joy by feeding your soul, you have to have courage and commitment to your passion and vision. You have to have the ability to have your ass kicked and handed to you and get back on your feet the next day. There's going to be many challenges along the way. Before moving forward, you better master your mindset. 4 years ago, I learned about the concept of blue and red ocean going through Marie Forleo's B School program. I heard it, but I truly didn't understand it deeply until one day, years later, my coach challenged me to look at the way I run my business. She told me brutally, honestly, that if I don't change the way I run my business, it, along with my mission, was going to go into oblivion in no time. My coach presented a different way for me to look at my business and offerings. Until she came along, I was swimming in a red ocean, not even realizing it, you know? And so what I was doing was competing in existing marketplace, and I honestly did not see it. I was too thick in a forest. I was there to beat the competition. I was there to exploit existing demand versus capturing new demand. And it was a value cost trade-off. And so once I wrapped my head around what it meant to go in a blue ocean, and that is different for everyone, it was a whole different ballgame for me. One of the first things we did together with my coach before talking about strategies of how to be a great service to the women that seek me, she looked at my superpowers and what fed my soul. I explained to her how much I love spending one-on-one time with clients, because then I'm able to gift them one of my superpowers, which is being intuitive. And by the way, we're all intuitive. I'm not like a special person. Most of us have forgotten it or been conditioned by society that it is not there nor valued. And by the way, I teach this to my clients. What my intuition offers to my clients is tremendous amount of savings of time and money. Together, along with my carefully curated questionnaire that help clients know themselves better and logs an intense one-on-one consultation, we're able to get to the root of the problem quicker and get to the solutions faster versus spending a lot of time through trial and errors, chasing one practitioner after another, mostly misses and hits. Thinking that there was no space to offer this kind of service in the kind of programs I had created to be competitive, I had given up on being able to offer one-on-one or my gift of intuition in my programs. After months of preparation, planning, and testing, my newest Happy Hormone program with all the bells and whistles you could possibly imagine was born. I'm now swimming in a blue ocean, offering what is uniquely powerful program like no other on this planet that has profound transformational effect on fierce women who are ready.
Well, I want to hear more about that. I want that. So
you can get that.
okay, yeah, no, I hope you have a chance to that we have some time for you to go into that in a little bit more depth. But let's stay with this lesson theme here, as you're on a roll. What's that? You've got the second lesson that you're coming to here now that really supports your professional growth.
That was another one that's hard for people who have ADD, by the way, tendencies, I should say. The second crucial lesson I have learned that took me a few years to embrace was from my story coach, Chris Smith. This was about a couple of years ago. After an intense 2-day workshop, he noticed how all over the place I was with my message. He recognized the danger of knowing so much. I didn't have a specific focus. I had a broad audience. I had a broad spectrum of health topics I could help people with. My message was too broad. So he encouraged me to read the book Essentialism by Greg McNeil. Essentialism is a disciplined pursuit of less. It is a great resource. It is not a productivity system or a life hack. it's say, for instance, that you want to build a brand. You have many choices of platforms, right? You can do what I did, which was go to all the platforms and do all of them and go crazy, or decide to promote through Instagram. The simple fact that you decide on Instagram immediately means that you're not going to focus your efforts on Facebook, Twitter, or any other social platform. You've cut them out of your decision tree. The hardest part is that, and this is another thing as far as helping others, right? The hardest part is that we know that we can help everyone, and we know we want to help everyone, but by trying to help everyone, we help few. The narrower the focus, the better. For me, I went from I can help anyone who consumes food to women between 35 and 55 going through perimenopause or menopause symptoms and have to be willing to put in the work and few other things. That was key. So my focus was this, and I'm still fine-tuning it. Believe me, I'm still fine-tuning it. It's incredible, and I'll tell you like the little things that are making a difference. Like for me, although I love children and I love men, and I'd love to help everybody, my focus, not to say I don't help anybody anymore. If they come to me, I can still help them, but my focus is on female, right? When I'm advertising, when I'm promoting, it's busy women. So I keep that in mind. Maybe a mother of teenager between 35 and 55. The other thing that I fine tune is the women that come to me happen to be just like me. They're empathic. They're very compassionate. They're very sensitive, right? And that means they can also learn fast. They just need to get that permission that it's okay to be empathic. There's nothing wrong with that. They're willing to do the hard work initially. They're willing to change. They're tired of chasing after their health. They understand that this is not going to be a quick fix. It's not going to be yo-yo dieting. And they have this humongous bright light to shine. And it is my honor and it is my gift from them to help them. And narrowing down and doing one or few things very well, instead of doing a lot of things not so well, is the hardest thing for a fast-acting entrepreneur with ADD tendencies, because there's always something brighter that is shining that distracts us.
Those shiny objects, you know. And I like the squirrel analogy too. It's just like going and collecting, and can we ever get enough? Is there ever enough shiny objects to chase down?
Right. Oh, look at that.
Right, exactly. Well, this has been a lot of information, Caroline, and I appreciate it. I wonder if you have some closing thoughts to leave us with. We're just about at that time that we got to swing around to closing this up.
Yes, I do. Okay. My closing thoughts, my advice: follow your dream, pursue your passion. This world needs you. Be tenacious, have grit, know who you are, know what you are naturally inclined to do. Surround yourself with people and team that supports you and is good at the things you aren't. Stick to your superpowers, have a niche, and become an expert in it. Focus and narrow your target market, message, and what vehicles you choose to deliver. It's hard enough making a business out of your passion. Find your blue zone.
Right. All right. With that, Caroline, how can people get in touch with you? You talked about the coaching programs as well, and if people want to know more about you and the work that you're doing, there it is.
Yeah, and there it is. So they can go to barefoodangel.com and sign up for the newsletter. It's going through a little bit of construction. I don't know if they're going to definitely get a gift of which fats to eat, which fats to consume. But I would suspect what is important to the listeners is they may be interested in the coaching programs, the ones that I mentioned, and most of them are by invitation only. So if anyone's interested, either call me or email me with the subject line Hawthorn Alumni Series, and I'll go from there and I'll share the information with you happily.
All right, thank you, Caroline. That's a really generous offer, And I'm grateful that you're willing to talk to other people. And I'm grateful that you came on today to talk to all of us and share what you've been doing. And I look forward to you continuing your education and the good works you're doing in every way. I sure hope you'll visit us again and continue to share the good works that you're doing and all the success that you're having too.
Oh, yes. I love you guys have been tremendously helpful in my life, and I really appreciate that. You're not getting rid of me anytime soon.
That's the right answer. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us and taking the time here. We'll meet again at our next All About Alumni on Wednesday, November 7th with our nutrition consultant graduate, Amy White. We'll see you then, and until then, take care.